hello. What a comedy show. Let's talk about death. All right. I think about death a lot, actually. I kind of always have. Like, I was a morbid little kid. Like, when I went over to friends' houses for play dates, instead of playing, like, House of Princesses, I always wanted to play Funeral. I didn't get asked back to a lot of people's houses, but that's okay. Who has friends now, Mackenzie de Zabala? You do, not me. But no, it's okay. I think about death a lot, which is great because I know exactly how I want to die. You ready? You ready with me? Good. All right. 7-car pileup, boom. At 8:34 in the morning, boom. Going into the Holland Tunnel, boom, on a Wednesday. Are you with me, fucker? Because if I die in a 7-car pileup at 8:34 in the morning on a Wednesday going into the Holland Tunnel, my last act on this beautiful, beautiful planet that we live on is to mildly inconvenience hundreds and hundreds of people. Like, picture it, like, a couple cars back, fucking Joe salesman is checking his watch and he's like, oh, if traffic doesn't move soon, I'm gonna be late for my 9:30. And meanwhile, they're pulling my mangled body out of my crushed Honda Civic. Her name is Ava the Honda. And like my family is crying. It's the dream for you guys. So quick question, did anybody come to this comedy show with a significant other? Question, why? And statement, bye. I do not have a significant other. I am violently single, which sucks because I am around people who are in relationships all the time, which is just great because I feel the individual eggs just like drying up and dying inside me every day. So I was like, I need to figure this out. So I went to that wellspring of perfect romantic advice, Google, and I typed in how not to die alone. And the first result that came up was a WikiHow article called How to Get a Boyfriend. I was like, okay, WikiHow, get me pregnant. So I click on the article. Okay, I actually want to run some of this by you. The advice was okay, I'll just tell you. So the first piece of advice was to make eye contact with your crush, which makes sense. Like, you know, like make sure they know that we're connected and like I'm listening to you and you're listening to me, it's great. But the way they said to go about establishing eye contact was to stare at him. Just keep staring at him for as many hours as it takes for him to eventually stare back at you. And then you have eye contact and now you're married, awesome. And then the other piece of advice that they gave was to like be present. Be around for your crush, which makes sense because like if you're not in the same room with him, how are you going to get pregnant with 25 of his babies, right? Like, and just the way they said to go about it was to like, you know, find out what he loves to do, where he loves to go, and follow him there. But then they qualified it with like, it's okay if you love somebody it's not stalking. So I've been following this advice. It hasn't really worked yet, but you've been staring at me kind of silently. Speaking of being single, who here loves porn? We all love porn. I love porn. You love porn. One thing I'm not so sure about is hospital-themed porn. Like, I don't know what sexy things go down in a hospital. I would love to be watching a hospital-themed porn, and like, the sexy nurse in the wildly impractical shoes is like going down on the guy and all of a sudden it stopped and she's like, ooh, and he's like, what? And she goes, I think I feel a lump. Yeah, you know, but I get it, porn can't always suffice, you know, sometimes we like to go to parties and like find that special someone whose name you'll never fucking remember the next day when you're trying to confront your image in the mirror. And you just can't look at yourself. Anyway, one time, like, I was at one such party. I was at an ATO party. Go ATO. Thanks for still being around. Anyway. So I was at this ATO party, and this guy comes up to me like, dick first, the way that fuckboys do. Dick first. Hey, sexy. I was like, hi. And he was like, you know, I'm not from around here. I don't go to Muhlenberg. I go to Albright. Go to Albright College. Albright. So, here's my thing. I am in this moment. I have an opportunity with the man. I can take it two directions. One, I can hook up with him, have, well, not an orgasm, but a story to tell. My other option is to take part in my favorite hobby, which is something I call communist fishing. It's like catfishing, except you reel a guy in and make him think that you're a radical communist. So, standing here in a darkened room, music is thumping, go to Albright College. I go, oh, you go to Albright? Do you know a guy, Karl Marx? Do you know this guy, Karl Marx? He's like, oh no, I don't know anybody from around here, because I go to Albright College. I go to Albright College. I was like, yeah, no, Karl Marx, you know, big beard, big manifesto, bigger dick than yours, Karl Marx. Like, no, I'm not from around. I go Albright. I go Albright College. Albright. And I know like Karl, like you know him, like he's around. He's got a lot of followers. Like, you know, Albright. I was like, no, whatever. Like, I thought you knew him. He was like, oh, you know, you're sexy, but like you're mean. And he walked away. But a couple minutes later, I saw him staring at me silently from across the room. So we ended up having sex anyway. Oh, that's my time. Thank you guys.